let's knock it out of the park.
What up? Get Money Sports Show. What up? It's the Get Money Sports Show. Let's go. 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 TKO. Let's go. Let's go. The sheriff in here. Let's go. The Hawk in here. You ready? King Coop in here. You ready? D-Minus DC. You ready? We about to talk sports. You ready? You know TKO Pro. Russell Love better ask the sheriff about them Colts. Ask DC about the Braves. B-Fam, it's a whole new wave. Real men, we ain't never been whiners. King Kunta gon' rep the Niners. Straight talk, you don't hear no slurs. D-Minus gon' rep the Spurs. Ask Hawk about the Seahawks, but ask him all about anything. Going hard like it's all a dream. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's the Get Money Sports Show. Let's go. It's the Get Money Sports Show. Let's go. It's the Get Money Sports Show. Let's go. It's the Get Money Sports Show. Let's go.
You heard 2 Dot. He said it's a Get Money Sports Show. Let's go. And I got my boys in the house. What's up, TKO?
What up? What up? What's happening? How you doing, DC? I'm glad you're having me back on here this beautiful Saturday here in North Carolina. And I'm feeling good, man. How y'all doing today?
Man, I'm recovering from a long night of guns and fireworks being shot off near my house last night. I don't really do the fireworks stuff, but yeah, a lot of people are celebrating. I'm being honest. I didn't think there'd be that much celebrating this year with old Agent Orange behind the throne. I thought there'd be more, I don't know, something else. We got the Hawk up in here. How you doing today, Hawk?
Good. I will say I'm not a fan of the fireworks or the gunshots either. The thing that gets me is the gunshots and the fireworks and all that stuff, regardless of the president. I understand lighting the stuff off, doing the whole thing, but why are we still going at like 2 o'clock in the morning?
I don't understand that part.
You know what I mean? Like I get, anywhere from 8 o'clock, even all the way up to like midnight, but like 2 o'clock in the morning, like I got woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, bro, take your ass to bed. What are you doing? Like I live in a big HOA, so I'm like, I know the HOA. I'm sure all these like rich entitled people around here are probably calling the cops and everything else, complaining about their neighbors and stuff. So it's just like 2 o'clock in the morning. What are we doing? I mean, I'm not gonna call the cops on them, but I'm sure other people, like there's older people that live in the area and younger people. We got a nice mix here, but yeah, it just seems kind of excessive at 2 o'clock in the morning.
You know, the ones that get me is, and I'm not trying to say that you could tell what people's incomes are by living across the street from them, what's in their yard. But I would say there's some people in my neighborhood, maybe not across the street, but in my neighborhood, but maybe are across the street. Everything's out in the front yard. Looks like you can't afford to get a package of ramen noodles, but you got $700 worth of fireworks out there. You're back up for 2 hours because of your independence. And I hate to say it, but they're Spanish. Are you celebrating the Mexican or the Spanish independence? I just don't get the concept of everybody going in, especially like go to Walmart and watch that one line where the sparklers are and watch the people that are loading up those $50 boxes of sparklers. And then there's no groceries in the cart. Teddy.
Yeah, like speaking of HOAs, I'm actually the president of mine. And so in our community, somebody was shooting some fireworks off. So as I was sitting here playing the video game, my kids and my wife went outside and they got to see it for free. So they didn't even have to go nowhere. I ain't had to shoot nothing off. Because me personally, I don't deal with the fireworks. I'm not that dude. I never been that type. But yeah, I had to deal with some HOA problems today. So that's what I'm handling right now. This morning
Understood completely. I would never volunteer for that. Jay, I gotta know, does the HOA president get any kind of discount? Or is this just a job that you do because you're great?
I would say that I'm good at what I do. So I think it's more that it's nothing about no type of special privilege besides we can be a little rowdy in my house, I guess, a little loud. So if you want to worry about the noise on it.
All right, there you go. So if you like to party, then you can be the president because who's going to call you? I got you. Okay, all
There
right,
you go.
all
So
right.
that's it works out.
So our video of the day, we all talk about throwing the ball 100 miles an hour, 101, 102. What happens? Let's just look at it.
Oh, ouch. Oh, my goodness, he caught it. Wow. Do a backflip.
You're going to see it again.
104.7, no problem for Matthew Boyd into your living room. Look out. What a play. He can pitch, he can hit. Dad loves it.
Matthew Boyd, Chicago Cub pitcher, lefty, throws the ball 98 miles an hour. The only thing they don't say is who hit it, and I couldn't see who hit it, but it came right back at his ear. It was right at his ear, and he flags it. The only thing I'm going to say about this is you could have had a really cooler dismount. You had a chance as you were stepping back to do something cooler than a thumb. Dude, moments are made. You had a chance to make a moment bigger than what it was, dude. 104.7, Hawk.
First of all, let's. I got two things. Let's think about he doesn't catch it. This man is in concussion protocol. It's right by his ear. It could have broken some bones. Like major things could have happened to him right there. The other thing, they cut to the part of the video where his dad is like celebrating. Did you happen to see the look on? I'm assuming that was his mom right there.
Facts.
His mom looked terrified, as every mom would be, So she was like, it was like almost like a sad look on her face because she was like, "Man, my son just narrowly escaped some like craziness going on." So,
100%.
but I agree with you because you heard the guy in the video. He said do a backflip, and if that dude would have done a backflip right there, dude, they'd be replaying that on Sports Center all day, every day. That would have been part of their highlight package, everything. So, yeah, you got to, I don't know, personally do something cooler than a thumbs up right there because, like you said, it's about the moment. So,
I'm with you, and I mean that's just saying that maybe don't remember when that ball come. It's not like he had to think about catching it; it was defending yourself. But then when you take them back steps, Teddy, do you know what I'm saying here? Like, what would happen if that was you right there on the dismount?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be just as shocked and amazed as he was because that right there again was just inches away from probably being catastrophic to his career. That could have probably been his last play because you're saying 104 miles per hour, just the same velocity. Again, how fast is the average when it's coming to them? Let's say the average of 90 miles per hour. How many seconds is there in between from the leaving their hand to the batter? The response time. Do you guys know that? I know you guys know.
The actual time that the ball hit the bat and it hit his glove was 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say 1 second as a guess.
Yeah.
Right, and we're looking at 1 second now to say 104 for that's number one, great athleticism and response time to know to put your hand up. So yes, number one, I like that his reaction time was there, but Lord have mercy, man. Shout out to that kid. But yeah, if he would have gave a nice little flair to it, little round off backflips, hey, got the crowd G'd up, dope. But I would have been the same way. Sometimes you do certain things that you just like, thank God I got through it and nothing got hurt. And that's one of those moments. So shout out to that kid. But yeah, he could have put a little razz on there at the end.
I mean, he knew he got it. He did the little back step. He had a little going on. I'm with you though. 104.7 to the temple is pretty much going to kill you.
Yeah.
Now, to my knowledge, I don't recall anybody ever dying from getting hit on the pitcher's mound. But there's a lot of other things that happen overseas that I've heard people dying over there by getting hit in the ball with the chest. Shortstop took a ball in the chest because it whiffed him and he died. So I don't know, but kind of cool. This segment is brought to you by Gatorade. Let's go ahead and play our commercial. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar, for somehow getting involved with Gatorade too. You're just in everything.
I lose sight.
Let's try that
Every
again with
morning
sound.
I lose sweat. I lose time. I lose peace. I lose sweat. I lose time. I lose sight. I lose sweat. I lose time. I lose track. And I lose. Drop after drop after drop after drop. Going the distance. Losing. So I know I always win.
Now, I don't want to drink a Gatorade right now, but I tell you one thing, I don't want to sue Kendrick Lamar either. I mean, if he's putting in that kind of work on the weights there, I'm going to go ahead and say that he might just whoop somebody's ass. Right, Hawk? I mean, Kendrick Lamar's in everything, and I think that statement, by the way, he's going to get sued again because he used some more lines from what's his name's Drake's I lose sleep. There's something in one of his songs, right, Teddy? Is that?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, you're sitting there.
I don't know not one Drake song like that, currently, because I'm not. I mean, it's nothing against Drake personally to me. His lyrics doesn't resonate for me. It's just that sound like a teenager rap to me. I just can't get it.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being a teenager, Mike Brown is now the coach for the New York Knicks. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks, predicting who would go in there. A couple people did say Mike Brown lower on the list, but he was definitely not on top of anybody's. Was this the right move? Mike Brown won his second coach of the year in 23-24 with the Sacramento Kings. He has coached for 28 years, including LeBron's first tenure with Cleveland. You know what all that means? It means, Mike, if you don't win this year, you're going to have to retire. Hawk.
I think it was the right move. Listen, if you're coaching for the Sacramento Kings and as a coach you win an individual award, that tells me that you kind of know what you're doing a little bit. That team specifically hasn't really before him hadn't really been on the map since like the Chris Webber days. They weren't drafting well. They weren't playing well, any of that type of stuff. And to think that he was not a part of any team is kind of crazy. So to see him get the opportunity is cool. I say this about all New York sports. That's a very short leash.
Short.
Whether you're playing for the Yankees, the Mets, the Giants, the Jets, the Knicks, or coaching for them, it doesn't really matter. That leash is extremely short. I would like to see. I know that. Who was the guy that coached Golden State before Steve Kerr got there? I can't remember his name. He's on the NBA countdown stuff. Yeah, Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson.
I've always been one of those guys that's like when they're giving Steve Kerr all this credit, I've always been like a truther for Mark Jackson because I'm like he's the one that built this thing, and then Steve Kerr came in and you can make an argument and say that Steve Kerr took them to another level, but I felt when like Mark Jackson was fired from Golden State that it was unfair and it was ridiculous because I thought he was doing just fine, and they still could have ended up being what they are with Mark Jackson, but whatever. So with Mike Brown, maybe Mike Brown is that coach for the Knicks that kind of helps him take that next step. And if he is that guy, then that would be awesome. I've always liked him. I haven't really had, there's like certain coaches I don't like, but like Mike Brown is one of those guys that he just seems like he's a good coach. Seems like he knows what he's doing. So I was a fan of the hire.
100%. TKO.
All right, I'll go with. I agree with the Hawk on a lot of things. Number one, I do think he is a great basketball coach in his time because he knows how to push his superstars to the next level. Like he got fired in Sacramento, I think it was a raw deal because of De'Aaron Fox, and at the same time they still traded De'Aaron Fox. So I think that's kind of hypocritical that you fired one guy for saying that he wasn't right fit for your star, but then turn around because he was pushing him to go to the next level, then trade him. That's ridiculous. But we're looking at a team like the Knicks that is a defensive-minded team because as an output, if you look at it, Thibodeau's production always been defensive-minded. So they try to keep teams relatively under around 100 points, which Mike Brown has the same type of pedigree and background. However, I do believe he can create more offensive. He could generate more offense than Thibodeau possibly could. Also, to have more players off the bench because you shouldn't rely on 6, 7 players going into the playoffs, trying to go against teams that's going at least maybe 7 or 8 deep on the bench. So I do think also too, we didn't see the moves that's to be made with the Knicks. I think that Mike Brown did have some type of general manager role with Sacramento, or he had a lot to do with some of the decisions that was made with some of the players at first. So they gave him a little bit of the front office treatment, and I think with the Knicks, we'll see in the first year if it grows because they did the same thing with Tom Thibodeau.
Yep.
They gave more than what they should have, and then they had to draw it back once they started to realize maybe this ain't the direction of where the team's going to go. But I do think in the New York market, he's probably the right guy for that type of team. I've seen a video recently; he was cussing, f bombs going left and right, and probably screaming, yelling. Maybe that's what the Knicks need. But I would say that he's not no secondary hire. I do believe someone like him should have been on the top of more coaches' list. And I do think that when we go back to one thing before I end this up, is that you're right, Hawk. Someone like Mark Jackson and Avery Johnson, those two guys right there, something must have happened where in the NBA they just don't
like
like
internally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something going on because you cannot tell me after all these years, not one time these coaches would have not got picked up. But Ime Adoku, and I ain't saying nothing bad about him either. But that thing that went on with him with one of the ladies in the front office seemed to just went away real fast when he went to Houston. But I don't say anything about culture or nothing that be involved because look at what Boston has now. So it has nothing to do with that. I'm not going angling it that way. It just may be the individual person. But I do not like the fact that, yes, someone like a Mark Jackson, someone like an Avery Johnson that had very good success with the Dallas Mavericks, and at the same time, the Golden State Warriors, other coaches got more than, let's say, like Rick Carlisle, right? Rick Carlisle won with the Dallas Mavericks, but who really set the archetype for that team to be there? Not saying that against Rick Carlisle, but Avery Johnson was there to start that team up to where it was. So you got so many examples of that. You're right that I don't understand what's going on with the NBA. Well, Mark Jackson, Avery Johnson, several other coaches that keep giving opportunities to some guys like a Doc Rivers because he's playing the clown show in the NBA. So I think sometimes this NBA coaching hiring is a bunch of bull crap. Because like Michael Malone, why is he not in the running for the coach? That was kind of weird to me.
Then I also look at a guy like Ty Lue, right? Remember when he was coaching was it the Cavaliers with LeBron?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember sitting, like, they would show videos of like after they won a game or something like that, and LeBron was in the locker room and all, it was LeBron that was icing his shoulders, his knees, his back, everything else. And then it was like a bunch of these young guys who like aren't at a stage yet because they're so young and so immature. They're all dancing in the locker room with cigars and acting like idiots. Even Ty Lue was getting involved in it. And it was just kind of like, I looked at Ty Lue, and I'm sure he knows a lot about basketball, but I looked at this man, I'm like, bro, what dirt do you have on someone that you can get away with this type of behavior, and B, that someone is making you the lead man, like the head coach of a basketball team in the NBA? Because I didn't feel like, and to this day, I know that he's employed by someone somewhere. I know he was on the coaching staff for the Team USA basketball and stuff like that, but like I was like, what dirt do you have on these people? Because like, it just seems so out of place. And so there's that dynamic with Ty Lue, and then there's exactly, TKO, what you were talking about on the other side with some of the guys that deserve to be in positions but aren't. Like the NFL does this so much
100%.
worse.
Yep.
Like the NFL is like it's like the good old boy system,
It is.
and it's not so much about like. It's not so much about like your experience and stuff like that. It's like, oh, who are you cool with? And what do they do every year? the Rooney Rule, right? They're like,
Right.
I know the guy I'm going to hire, but let me find the most unqualified black guy and interview him because I don't want to get in trouble legally. So
Right.
Remember, you
they-
got to do an Asian now too, and a Hawaiian, and you got to do different nations now. This Rooney Rule has adapted here. Yeah,
Rooney Rule is BS, man. Like you're absolutely correct. Like I'm glad the NBA don't enact that.
it's
because
coming. It's coming.
It's just stupid because, like,
Yeah.
let's be realistic too. You're right. Like when you look at someone like these other coaches, I'm not going to say anybody in particular. Look at like an Eric Spoelstra, right? Eric Spoelstra got an opportunity. However, he's really good because Pat Riley he got his arm around him. So I like that. But you're right. You get
He's
other
a
coaches.
pawn,
that-
man.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, at this point, he's actually a good coach because now you can see where if I was to be a person like Pat Riley and I'm gonna show somebody who I am and I want to pass it on, then Eric Spoelstra, that guy, he was young, he took care of him during that divorce. I like the future of somebody like Eric Spoelstra. He earned that. But some of these
Yeah.
other coaches, you're right. Like you look at Tyronn Lue, I think now he earned it because he's with the Clippers now. Someone like him, I like where he's at right now because he really is doing a great job with the Clippers. But you're absolutely correct. When he got put on, I'm like, who put a gun to an owner's head and said, hey, somebody hire Tyronn Lue right now?
I think what it all breaks down to is with Mike Brown is an exceptional coach of stars.
Yep.
If you have a superstar, like everything we talked about here, if you wrap it all up in a nutshell, is you've got some coaches that had a star where the star was coaching the team. And you were there and you were a pawn, Eric. I'm a Miami Heat fan. You know what the hell you were. You were me. You met Pat Riley. Pat Riley liked you personally. And he said, I'm going to put all my shit inside of you. You just do what the fuck I say. And I'm sitting in the stands, my hair slicked back. If you fuck up, I'm going to put a horse head in your bed. You know, it was just like Eric learned how to be Pat Riley. Pat Riley wanted another kid, and he made Eric Spoelstra. That's it.
I love
but
it.
I think you see, with Eric Spoelstra specifically, because I was going to use him as an example earlier, but it wasn't a good enough example for what I was saying. But I'm
Right.
glad that you brought him up because Eric Spoelstra, when he first came into the league and he was coaching the Heat, and he had LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh and
Who are
like,
you
and
coaching?
it's like you're being. It's like being 16 years old and your parents get you a car and the first car they get you is a damn Ferrari. You know, that's exactly what it was like. And so like,
Alternative, you
but
got
I
Brad,
didn't.
Brad Stevens got the Boston treatment, all the car. We're gonna trade everything to give you what you need. So I
Yeah.
mean, I see that the same like Danny Ainge did that to Brad Stevens, and where's Brad Stevens now in the front office? So there's a
Yeah.
lot of examples of the same thing.
No,
I'm like,
but Spoelstra, I agree with you. Spoelstra, at first I was like kind of on that Ty Lue level where I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
what dirt do you have on someone? You know, kind of the same thing. But like over the years, he's proven that
That he could do
hey,
what Pat says.
yes, he can do what Pat says, but from a coaching standpoint, he can do what Pat says, but from a coaching standpoint, eventually, you know, you got to grow your own pair of nuts and you
Right,
got to figure this thing out. And the Miami Heat, since LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh have left, have been very competitive, have been in the championship window. And I'm pretty sure, didn't they win the championship in
that lost
No,
in
no.
Miami in the bubble, but
No.
oh, in the
they've been
bubble? Yes,
Yeah.
so that's what I was thinking.
They've been in 2 Eastern Conference Finals though, which is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's at that point, once you're in the Eastern Conference Finals or even the NBA Finals, players just got to play at that point. And
facts.
sometimes it's about your matchup, but he has proven that he was worth the hire at this point because he's evolved over the years. He's gotten better. So like, I don't put him on like the same bracket as like how I view Ty Lue, and so or how I viewed Ty Lue at the time.
In other words, what we're saying is a couple NBA coaches out there that might be the chosen ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way it happens, man. Sometimes it's about the attitude. Like with Mike Brown, you know, when he goes to New York, you know those stars, and those stars know too. They're about to get cussed out. Like Teddy said, Mike Brown is fitting to get right in your face. He doesn't get. Oh, I'm trying to remember his name now. Why am I not remembering the point guard, the lefty? What's his name on New York?
Jalen Brunson.
Okay, so Jalen Brunson, okay, we all know Jalen's got a little bit of attitude, okay? Don't think that he has not been told to fuck off, get your lazy ass moving by Mike Brown, because that's what Mike Brown does. I think that's the biggest thing, because when you go to New York, as soon as you put on that jersey, you feel like you're a star. And Brown manages stars good. End this up, Rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of y'all.
Yeah, okay. I just personally love that Mike Brown is that type of coach because, like, I know I can speak for you, DC, and TKO. Those are the type of coaches we grew up with.
100%.
Nowadays, coaches gotta navigate. You know, you gotta worry about someone's feelings, or you gotta use the correct pronoun. You gotta do this, that, whatever. You know, but like back when we were growing up and we were in middle school sports, high school sports, if you did something wrong, your ass was getting cussed out by your coach.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Your coach was going to cuss you out, but he was also going to he was going to bring you up when you need to be brought up. And you were learning fundamentals and you were learning all of these things. Nowadays, the world's such a different place that you can't really do that anymore. You lose your job over stuff like that. But I love that he's there. I think it's a great thing. Cuss them out. They're grown men. They get paid millions of dollars to play a game. Cuss them out all you want.
All right, we're going to let Teddy go first on this next one right here because I'm sure this will be a short segment. Kunta wants to know, is LeBron James moving on from the LA Lakers? I will let you know that he just opted into his $52.6 million option for 25-26 season already. And retirement doesn't really seem like a thing to me right now, but I'm going to put it on my boys. I'm going to say that I am on the fence, and I want you guys to convince me that LeBron is not going to PKO.
You say he's not going to retire? Sorry.
That's the rumors right now. And right now the rumors are, and they're everywhere, that LeBron is thinking about retirement.
All right. So you're absolutely right. This segment for me ain't going to last long. I think that nothing against LeBron as, again, one of the greatest players that ever touched the basketball. I mean, that's without question. You know, he's one of the greatest. I would say a lot of this BS that he's going around saying right now is really irritating me. It's not irritating me. It's just these young kids don't listen to what he's saying very much. He has an aura about him, like what I like to call the Roman Reigns aura. Like, he surpassed certain titles and things in people's minds today. It's not about the championships. It's about the journey, you know? So some people are looking at the integrity of what he's been through. So let's break that down. You don't have as much as the other grades. Okay, warranted, got it. But you can't prove these kids no different, right? In the same era and same time, Steph Curry has eclipsed his achievements, and people yet do not. They put them on two different pedestals. So ain't nobody arguing to say Steph Curry is better than Michael Jordan. I never heard that, because in today's, for these kids, that is 100% correct. Steph Curry is better than Michael Jordan. That's what they would think. I'm not going to say, I wouldn't argue with a young kid about that, right? However, when it comes to LeBron, you are, I'm going to say this right first, pause. You're a team eater. Everything is about you. So if you ain't the biggest star about getting all the accolades, then the team ain't never going to sit there and win. Your problem is you're too selfish. It's always about the LeBron show. And I think that's the problem. If you was willing to pass that team on to Luka the right way, then you would make it 2 more years. And next year would be your retirement year. However, you lied, and you always be sitting here lying when you saying championships don't matter. Then why is the whole conversation, and why are you still playing then? What are you chasing? A championship. So I get so irritated every time that man opens his mouth. He need to really go back to shut up and play basketball. That's the reason why he should not talk. Because you're just a basketball player, and you say stuff because social media, and you want people to like you. Sometimes maybe always saying the right thing is not the smartest thing to do. Maybe you should go back and be the villain. Go out there with a chip on your shoulder and go earn it, instead of crying and complaining to change the standard just because you can't do it. That is ridiculous, man. Man up, admit that you cannot be able to move to the side in order to allow your team to win. Because the Lakers, I hate it for you guys. Y'all need to trade him if you could for like $2. Because it ain't going to manifest anything.
All right, so Hawk TKO says that I'm guessing here, I'm assuming LeBron would rather retire then pass the team on to Luka. Is that right, Teddy? So,
Correct.
so Hawk, what's your opinion? Because I kind of agree with Teddy a little bit. LeBron has to be the high point. If Luka outscores LeBron this year, will LeBron retire instead of playing that next year? Hawk, what's your opinion on this?
I don't know. LeBron can sit in front of a microphone or whatever and say as much as he wants that, oh, it's not about championships and it's about the journey and all this stuff. That man cares about his legacy. And
Yep.
Keep
Yeah.
going, keep going, keep going.
she's not a LeBron fan.
That's why we love her.
Yeah. Anyway, LeBron cares about his legacy, you know, and he is like, I'm glad that TKO brought up the idea of like how he is with these NBA teams. Because how many years did you see him on a team that had a bunch of young guys that weren't that talented or he didn't gel with? And then the trade deadline comes and it's like LeBron's still on the team and they've swapped the other 4 for a new 4, you know, like the Cavs did it multiple years in a row. Like, it's just kind of crazy. And this is a hard reality for a lot of players in the NBA, because you brought up like Steph Curry, right? We know, because we grew up in a different era of basketball. The era that we grew up in, LeBron could be on the court just fine because he's an all-time great. Steph Curry, all this driving in the paint stuff that he thinks he would do, that shit's done with.
Yeah.
You would get 8 Alive by Yao Ming, by Shaq, by Chris Webber. Those people would physically assault you to the point where you would, yeah, exactly, to the point where you would be like, I think I'm going to call the cops after this game's over. This is insane. And not to mention Ron Artest, who would actually physically assault you.
100%.
And so this when you get into these like basketball arguments, you have to know what generation you're talking to. Because they weren't alive to witness a bunch of those guys that I just mentioned. They damn sure weren't alive to witness the people that came before us or earlier in our generation, the Olajuwons of the world. You know, they weren't alive to witness those guys. Those guys were crazy. And basketball used to be so much more physical. Now you freaking breathe too heavy in one direction, they're getting a foul call, you know? And so, to answer the question, is LeBron leaving? At this point, I would say no, because like, I understand teams would sign him, but LeBron isn't the 40-point guy that he used to be. He has moments where he can turn that on, but he's not as valuable to your franchise anymore because he's been a few places. People have seen that back in the day, it was like, oh, we need to pair with LeBron or we need to team up with LeBron so that we can win a championship. And now you look at teams like Minnesota, you look at Golden State, you look at OKC, who just won, and you look at all these different franchises, and they're looking at LeBron like, okay, he's a great, but we can win this championship without him. We don't need him. So what is his value to a team other than having to, like, if LeBron comes to your team, you have to respect him because he's an OG and you have to play the way that he wants to play. He's the coach on the floor, all that type of stuff. Like these, especially because the NBA is so young now. Once LeBron leaves and a couple of other guys leave, the NBA is going to be looking for like their new face of the league.
And it's smaller too. The thing with LeBron is, I really do think that Luka can retire LeBron. I really do. If Luka really puts in on this weight loss thing and he comes out faster, leaner, he can already shoot. I am a little worried about, because Teddy could tell you this when he talks here, when you work out, it does affect your shot. I know that for a fact. I'm not saying that I work out all the time, but I used to.
Luka has done that every year, though. He's a fat boy coming in. Like what he does is he goes into the off season. No, he goes into the off season and he plays Euro basketball for whatever that league he plays for in the off season. And then after that league's over, he's got this small window of time between that league being over and like the training camp for the NBA starting. During that time, he's eating and drinking and he's fat. And then he comes to camp and because it happened in Dallas every year. They're like, oh, Luka's this much overweight or that much overweight or whatever. And they always say it. And then it's like, okay, it takes a good quarter of the season before Luka like gets back into like good Luka shape where he's running. Regardless of all that, Luka is an offensive player. He still cannot play defense to save his damn life.
Facts.
But I got this right here. Let's say, all right, devil's advocate, because now we got to look into the factor of everybody's talking about a trade, which is not possible because we know he's, again, a team killer. If you were to say, let's just play devil's advocate, where would it be the most realistic place he could actually win this year if we was moving around some pieces? Now, if they're saying New York, and that's the biggest talk, we all know the trade can't happen. Because why? It's so many trade clauses involved with so many players in between both of the two teams. The Knicks, actually, the money will go sky high because he's going to get that $52 million. So then another tier, that means they have to win now. He's back again with Mike Brown. Will that work? Don't know, because it's going to be hard to move money, LeBron, right? So you're going to have to probably give up Cat in order to trade for you. Or let's look at somebody like the Clippers. Nobody really even thought about that. If the Clippers gave up, let's say, Zubac and a couple other young pieces in a trade or two, draft pick or two, you're talking about probably somebody that could be in the NBA Finals with Harden, Leonard, and James, right? Possibly. But the sad part about it is 2 of those old men going to be hurting the whole season. So the whole thing really breaks down is, could he win with the Lakers in the next 2 years is really the big question, and I think no. I think he might as well get ready to have that farewell tour next year because he's not winning next year. Aiden was a good pickup, but I don't think that's enough. They're not going to win this year.
All right,
Yeah.
Speaking about winning, this is the report from the Get Money Sports very first
waiting for this.
Street Ball Championship. And you know what the coolest part is? I've known Hawk for about a year. I've known Teddy for about a year. I've known D- and Kuta a little bit longer, maybe 5-6 years. I've known Charles maybe a year. Not one of these guys has asked me, is that really what happened in the game? Not the losers, not the winners, nobody. I just want to thank you guys for the trust. Because I was wondering, like, how am I going to do this? I'm streaming it on Twitch, which, by the way, Hawk, your game had more viewers than King Kuta and D- Minus's game did.
That's let's as they say, let's call a spade a spade. What the hell was Charles thinking by adding John Stockton to his team?
It's not even that. Let's just get into the stats now. We'll get into the stats. Let's get the people that aren't here. Okay, so D- beat King Kuta 117 to 113 in overtime, which I didn't even know Street Ball had overtime. When the game was tied at the end, I was like, oh shit, what happens? And they go, we're going to overtime. I'm like, overtime? And Street Ball, what do you do? Throw free throws? No, you get another 3 minutes. I really didn't know that Street Ball had an overtime. I never played overtime. Anyways, so D-, Jordan had 46, Shaq had 43, Rodman had 28. On Kuta's team, Iverson had 52, Shaq had 30, and Miller had 31.
Damn, 52?
Yeah. Iverson, I was watching Iverson. Dude, the things he was doing, and I understand that it's a game. Iverson's got some body parts that we don't have. There must be joints in his ribs because when he was going in, he was twisting and turning. Unlike, it was honestly the D- King Kuta game was boring to me. I watched it. It was a score fest. Nobody was playing defense. But then, by the way, D- plays me next. King Kuta has 1 loss, and that will be done later today. Now, the game of the week. The Hawk beat the Sheriff 110 to 88. Hawk stats: Jordan 36, Garnett 32, Kobe 42. Sheriff stats: Jordan 48, Olajuwon 8.
How?
And I want to know something here. Why would you pick out of all the big guys out there? Why would you pick Olajuwon and then follow up with Stockton, who had 32? Okay, I asked him this, and he said, Well, Stockton scored just as much as Garnett and only 4 less than Jordan. Hawk, please elaborate on your great win by 22 points.
Well, I would say, like, even if you look at the stat line of my team, it's sharing the wealth. Everyone played their
100%.
part, 36, 32, 42. Everyone's in the same ballpark, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell on his team Olajuwon only had 8? Like, listen, if you would have told me Olajuwon had 32 and Stockton had 8, I'd be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, But Stockton gets the 32. I haven't seen it, but Stockton gets the 32 strictly based off of, okay, you have Jordan on your team. He can't score every single possession in a 3-on-3. Someone else technically does have to score. And so that's where I feel like Stockton got his points. But, like, let's be honest, I know I'm hating right now, but the fact that you're making your best 3 from all-time retired NBA players and John Stockton is on your list makes 0 sense to me. You don't have Kobe Bryant on your team. You don't have so many players that can be named, but you have John Stockton, who looks, I'm not going to lie, he looks like a United States Postal Service worker.
100%.
If you saw him in the streets
100%.
you didn't know what John Stockton looked like, you would be like, that is a generic white dude from California or something.
Or
like,
a manager of a grocery store.
Yeah, you would just like, looks like a regular dude.
Thanks.
But he was more like, yes, he scored a lot of points, but Stockton was more like, he was a big time facilitator.
Yeah, facilitator the ball.
Like great passer, all that type of stuff. So I personally just wouldn't have put him there. I'm not surprised by my stat line at all with my 3 guys, because 2 of the 3 guys I picked are in the GOAT conversation. And then Kevin Garnett is one of the most underrated big men ever in NBA history. On top of that, he is light on his feet and can move around and stuff like that. So, like I sent in our group text, remember? I said, there's no way in hell that you can convince me that the Sheriff, that his team is going to beat me. And the moment of realization for me was once I saw he had John Stockton on his team. I'm like, bro, I got Jordan, Kobe, and Garnett. Who's
covered?
Like, yeah. What is freaking the grocery bagger from your local grocery store going to do to stop Kobe and Jordan?
The cool part about your game was, and the uncool part, and you got to remember that the game makers program what they want the players to do. Olajuwon, every time they went down, he had a lot of blocks though. Not going to lie, Elijah was blocking everything that came anywhere remotely to the paint, but he never got scoring chances. It's like Stockton would bring the ball down, which I didn't understand that. I would have had Jordan bring the ball down. Stockton bring the ball down, pass to Jordan. Jordan would either shoot or pass back to Stockton, and he would shoot. Olajuwon's all 8 points were rebounds. All of them. He never had the ball passed to him where he shot and scored, ever.
That's crazy.
I'm with you. And that's the other thing. If you've got Olajuwon on the court and Garnett was covering him, which that's a definite size differential there, why would you not pass the ball to Olajuwon and let him work the paint?
Because they got the Cleveland Cavaliers, Ty Lue coaching that 3-on-3 team. That's why.
Now
Let's make the assistant coach Eric Spoelstra too without Pat Riley in the building.
Oh God.
This way, though, if he'd have had Stockton, perfect world scenario, that means he would have had to have like Reggie Miller to be his 2.
100%.
Because then, let's say it would have either forced John to call for a pick and roll every time. That would have got that going with Olajuwon to create the disadvantage. However, we're talking about 3-on-3, so.
Yeah, there are not many pick and rolls in street ball. I definitely know that. So the Hawks' next match is against TKO today. TKO's team is Jordan, Garnett, and Shaq facing off against Jordan, Garnett, and Kobe. So it'll be Kobe versus Shaq today. Any predictions, Teddy?
And I like the matchups on my side a little bit, favoring, because let's say, for instance, Jordan and Jordan are going to cancel each other out. Then you got Garnett, got a size advantage over Kobe. However, Kobe's quicker and got better shooting. So we see that matchup right there. And then Shaq and Garnett, he's going to pull him away from the basket. So that's going to probably hurt Shaq. But if they dump it inside Shaq all day. So it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
Hawk,
You know,
prediction?
when we were selecting our teams and stuff like that, I really wanted to go with Shaq because Shaq is
Dominant.
he's the most dominant big man ever, and he's one of my favorite basketball players ever. But I wanted someone that was a little bit lighter on their feet, and that's why I went with Garnett. But I agree, if you get, you know, the other two spread out and you drop the ball down there, there's not a man on earth that could stop Shaq from getting to the rim when he wants to get to the rim. So it doesn't even matter if we had the same exact team, Shaq versus Shaq, then you'd have to flip a coin essentially. But we'll see what they do. But they could also, depending on how the game goes, when we're on offense, they could turn Garnett into that mid-range shooter, which makes Shaq uncomfortable. So
right. Then you got to remember that Kobe being able to get blow past Garnett a couple of times to time. You know, get towards Shaq, kick it out, boom. That's gonna be a problem for me. If Kobe starts that run, he's gonna cook Garnett.
Yeah, so this could be the game where the two centers have more points than the other two players, and I don't know. For me personally, it's just kind of like it's a 50-50. It's an even, even money line. So
should be a good game.
Depends what the flow is.
All right, so let's let you guys grade my game. I play D-, who beat King Kuja in overtime. D-'s team is Iverson, Shaq, and Miller, and my team is Jordan, Kobe, and Hakeem. How do you see that matchup going down, TKO?
Well, right now with that Rodman, number one, I'm stunned he got 28 points in that first game. However, he had Miller probably was guarding him. So that's probably where his advantage came in that one. Or let's say hypothetically, Iverson is so freaking quick that that's going to be a problem with anybody right now. So knowing that you said the combination of again was for you was Miller. Can you do yours one more time? I'm sorry.
Mine is Jordan, Kobe, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Ooh, I like that because now you're gonna have Rodman's on Shaq. Shaq and Olajuwon, they're gonna get busy, so that's gonna even out. I see you having an advantage because Rodman is not gonna be able to score as much.
I think Olajuwon shuts down. Like when I saw the stat line, the first thing I said is Rodman's not scoring 28 on me.
No,
no fucking way. Shaq with Shaq and Olajuwon. No, do I have Shaq? I don't have Shaq. Do I? No, I have Jordan, Kobe.
Yeah, but
and
still,
Hakeem.
Yeah, so you got that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Hawk?
So yeah, Hakeem and Shaq essentially cancel each other out. Jordan and Jordan cancel each other out. I think this is a prime opportunity because we talked about this in the past, but Kobe Bryant is an elite competitor and is a very good defender.
Great.
So
defender.
I think if he's matching up with Rodman, will Rodman have like the physical strength advantage? Yeah, I think he wouldn't.
No, I think Kobe's going to go for 60.
Kobe can
No. I just mean
outside.
No, I mean when Rodman has the ball on offense, like say he was going to back down Kobe, he would win that battle.
100%.
Yeah.
But what we know about Kobe is a competitor and a very good defender. So you could take that 28 by Rodman and you could cut that in half, if not more.
I agree.
And see, I think he has the two bigs because he's looking at if Jordan misses a shot, then they gonna get the rebound to get the shot. I get that, but Rodman's not gonna be. Even if he did, he's not gonna get that many layups. Because now I'm trying to put that in the factor. Let's say Jordan's missing that shot, right? So he's counting the fact that Rodman got 28 points off rebounds at this point. So considering he is gonna be, that means he's gonna be probably blocking out Kobe Bryant. That's how he's going to still get his point. So that's why I see it right there. Now, it kind of makes sense.
All right. There you go. There's analyzation. We'll check with you next week to see what's going on there. We are now going to our second segment brought to you by Burn by Rocky Patel. segment brought to you by Burma Rock and Patel, located in the Battery at Truist Park, open daily from 4 p.m. to midnight, Fridays and Saturdays till 2 a.m. What went on down at Burn yesterday? I don't know. I wasn't fucking there. You gotta be crazy. I ain't going down. Ballpark on the 4th of July in Atlanta is crazy. And then you add in there cigars and drinking. It's just not. Look, these are gray. I'm not going to use Just for Men and make it brown to feel younger. I'm not into that crowd no more. I'm not into fucking Woodstock and shit and partying and falling down and sleeping on benches. I did my time. I don't know. I'm grown up now, I guess. I don't know. I'm not into that party life unless I'm with my old friends. And I don't have very many of those. They're all dying. Clayton Kershaw became the 20th pitcher to reach 3,000 strikeouts on Wednesday night against the White Sox and will be remembered mostly because of his blank. TKO.
For me, again, my limited knowledge of baseball, for me, I've just known in his career he's not really put up in the playoffs where it matters the most. I've heard he always had great seasons. I've seen the numbers early in his career, but every time the playoffs come, he's not reliable. In my opinion, it sucks to say this. It's like he's Matthew Stafford, right?
He is Matthew Stafford.
That's like the Matthew Stafford of baseball, in my opinion. Like last year, he got a free ride in that championship because of Ohtani. But being realistic, if he's on and he can perform, one of the best pitchers of our time. I mean, as far as I'm known, but to be honest with you, he's not too reliable. That's the biggest problem.
We need to make a word up that means not reliable in the playoffs. Just at that time, because there's players out there that they're not reliable in the playoffs, man. Hawk, what's the word we're looking for here?
The word that it's not one word, but it's RSC, which stands for regular season champion.
Oh, I like
you can add this is not a shot at you, TKO, but you can add Dak Prescott 100%. Or the Cowboys to that. They're big, they're stat mongers. They're stat mongers during the regular season, and then Clayton Kershaw is the worst of the worst. You throw Matt Stafford in there, you could throw a lot of guys in there. The worst of the worst is
you throw the whole 49ers team in there. I'll throw a shot at Kunta. They're not good in the playoffs.
I mean, they win playoff games. They've at least been to a couple of Super Bowls, but they don't win the big one, right? But Clayton Kershaw, it's like he's like untouchable during the regular season. The postseason starts, and it's like he's a shell of himself. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, people are hitting off of him, they're hitting bombs off of him. Like, he's not pitching well. His pitch count gets way up there, and it's just like, who is this person? You know, he's great. He's a great tool to use to get you into position to have to be seated in a favorable spot when it comes to the postseason. But so far in his career, he's not proven that he is that reliable in the playoffs. And so, so for that, I put regular season champion, which is cool if that's what you want. Regular season champion gets you a new contract, but it doesn't get you trophies. So
I think the word that I thought biggest from him, because I'm huge into baseball, is dedication. Because he is only the third pitcher to throw for 3,000 strikeouts on the same team. Most people don't know this, but let's just talk about the greats. Nolan Ryan, 5 teams. Max Scherzer, he's on his 9th team. 9th. He's pitching today in Toronto. He's not even pitching in America anymore. So you know what I'm saying? Dedication. The one thing Kershaw has to the positive is he never left the Dodgers. We're talking about a lot of years. Even when they weren't good, Kershaw stayed. I'm sure he was entertained when he was younger about coming to other teams. He never left the team, and I think dedication is so huge at baseball because not very many people do it. It's make my stats, get my money on another team, Juan Soto. You know what I'm saying? Wrong new. I'm telling you one thing. These Asians, when you name your kids something, remember when we say it, we're going to fuck it up. Because what is wrong new? I'm sure it has a magical meaning like David. The name David, we use it in the Bible. Where do Asians, what's your background to naming your kids? Do you just drop a glass, whatever sound it makes, that's what it is? Anyways, wrong new. I'm going to get a letter for that. I know I am. I'm sorry about that. Wrong New, better known as a unicyclist, Red Panda. You see how far away she went from her fucking name, parents? Wrong New, Red Panda. She came to America. She's famous now. Everybody knows who Red Panda is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Red Panda says she will be ready for next season after a fall off her unicycle during the Lynx versus the Fever game, which only broke her wrist, which surprises the hell out of me. She's not very big. She took a full fall, landed on that arm, only broke her wrist. She later said that she will return to perform at blank in 2026 first. Obviously, we're having fun here. So, Teddy, what's your answer?
Number one, I never heard of this girl until I seen that video. All right, so I would say she will be performing in 2026 at the Super Bowl, right there on that grass.
All right.
Stage of it all, that nice mossy turf that's wet. Let her just ride on out there and redeem herself this time one more time.
Off her landing spot.
Yeah, much more safer landing spot. I like where Teddy's going with this.
If she falls again, I don't know this lady, and I'm glad she is just the risk. I watched the video. In my opinion, hey, it could have been worse. It really could have. But I was laughing. I'm like, that couldn't have been the first time she fell off of that.
It actually was the second time she fell off, and you know what she said? Her unicycle was damaged during shipping. When they looked at the unicycle afterwards, there was a bolt at the very bottom that had come loose. Now, bolts don't come loose during shipping. I know you're trying to sue somebody. That ain't gonna work. You should have had a mechanic check your shit before you got on there. I'm just telling you, that lawsuit against the moving company, not gonna fly. That ain't gonna happen in America. Hawk, what's the answer we're looking here? Where is she gonna perform first in 2026?
I'd probably give her like some halftime show at like a Lakers game or something like that. But I don't know if you guys saw she or if you watch the Pat McAfee show that's on ESPN, but she had been like at his like Thunderdome or whatever show, doing like a little performance or whatever, showing off for the guys that are on that show, and she did a pretty good job and stuff like that. And he was big time in support of her, and he's like, hey, like it sucks that she fell off, but like when she was here, she did a great job, and like none of that type of stuff happened. So it was nice to see him like kind of put her over in that way. But she is, I guess, like a friend of the show or something like that for them. And so it was cool to see him like say nice things about her. Cause sometimes when these clips go viral, people like get into this mode of like, oh, let's bag on this person because like this is a viral clip. But yeah, I mean, listen, if you want to blame the loose bolt, you got to have someone on your team that you pay that is in charge of like checking all your stuff. Cause like, what if it broke, or what if something came apart in a different way, and now all of a sudden you're head first looking at the ground as you're falling down,
100%.
Something much worse could have happened other than a broken wrist. So if there is any type of lawsuit, it's probably not going to go very far. So
it's going to be suing your own people. And I hate that you took my answer. It wasn't at a Lakers game, but you said it. Her first performance in 2026 is absolutely going to be on the Pat McAfee show. Don't get it fucked up. She's going to bring that unicycle right around that little lobby right there. If she falls, she's going to land on a couch. I promise you, the next time you see Panda will be on the Pat McAfee show. Teddy.
My question is really quick. I'm okay. It's a me thing.
It's wrong new. That's
not wrong. I'm not going to her. Are y'all annoyed by Pat McAfee just as much as I am right now? Like,
no,
he is
absolutely
really
not.
He's
absolutely
annoying.
Not. You know what he is? He might be a little annoying, but he is groundbreaking. He's groundbreaking. Think about ESPN and those corporate people. Like I'm thinking about our radio station, which BFAM 109.6, the only 24-hour uncensored radio station. Every day, fuck you, any time of the day. You can listen to it if you want to. It's uncensored. Pat McAfee has broken the cuss barrier that he says, and I like what he says in his show. It says, because this is how grown people talk.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I'm not saying so much as that. I think that's one thing, but I mean, just like let's say for instance, he said he needed a break from WWE. It's like no, we needed a break from you.
He
Your
did.
energy
He is.
is too
Yeah.
much. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like I get
Mhm.
I'm not saying his profile. I'm glad that his platform's growing, but
Mhm.
he's now so everywhere. It's getting annoying. It's like, dude, I don't have to be engulfed by Pat
Mhm.
McAfee. If I want to check him out, I want to. But now it's on College Game Day. He's on this. He's on that. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Just pick one lane, dog. I don't want to see you on your opinion on everything.
Mhm.
Like boxing, I don't want to hear Pat McAfee talking about boxing. You're a punter, dog. Like
That's
pick
what
one.
I'm saying. Yeah, like the wrestling was. I didn't know you were talking about that. The wrestling with
Yeah,
Pat McAfee was not good.
too much energy, man. Like
Yeah,
he's way
not
too.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they try to make like Jerry the King Lawler, and then so when it first started, it was cool when he made a couple appearances. Now he's doing matches and stuff. It's like, why are we building your platform bigger than where you are? Like, dude, do
right.
what you do at ESPN. I'm not knocking that, but just kind of stay in your lane because it's irritating.
Yeah, yeah. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Darren Waller, tight end, ex-Raider, didn't do shit for us. Darren Waller was traded by the New York. Was that a little petty? I felt like I was.
Yeah, it was. If you go
I
look at
did.
his stats, man, for your
Yeah,
team, he did a lot.
I mean, but I didn't want him to leave, and I'm just pissed off still.
Yeah.
Darren Waller was traded by the New York Giants for a 2026 sixth-round pick to the Miami Dolphins and has decided to unretire. I'm going to stop there for a minute. Athletes, I think we should write in your contracts you're not allowed to unretire. I think that word, matter of fact, Agent Orange, make a new law. You making laws about stupid shit. Get rid of the word unretire. It's a double negative. You can't retire and then unretire. If you're indecisive, don't retire. I'm just tired of this. Anyways, in 2026, he will have blank catches. By the way, this is one of our predictions, so be accurate. We're not playing right now. In 2026, he will have blank catches for blank yards and blank touchdowns. All right, Hawk. The Darren Waller's down there in Miami now. How many catches? How many yards? How many touchdowns? And he won't be tight end 1. He'll be tight end 2. Because didn't they just? Oh no! Wait a minute. They just traded away their tight end to Pittsburgh, so he may be tight end 1, right?
No, I think
Jonnu Smith.
he might be tight end 1. Yeah, they did get rid of Jonnu Smith.
All right, I'm going to look while you're doing that.
Okay, so I'm gonna put him down for 42 catches. Give me, let's say, I'm gonna just throw a random number out there because I don't really know. 356 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just random, because like.
Did you see my shit, man?
Why were you in the?
I mean, where's the fucking camera, bro? I'm gonna let TKO go first, but I'm feeling a certain kind of way right now. Teddy, you ever felt that way for a minute? Like when you go last, and somebody says their numbers. I'm just gonna tell you my numbers, okay? Because mine are here and they're in ink. Okay, it says 28, 334, and 2. That is 22 yards and 1 touchdown less than what he said. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, TKO. Well, you got a good guideline now. Don't fuck up or just go off the chart and think he's gonna do better.
Oh, it's way off the charts because I wrote mine out. Because I was looking like this. If he was healthy and when he was healthy for the Raiders, he had at least 1,100 yards and he had 90 catches plus every time that they had a good season and he was not hurt.
That's because that's the only weapon they had.
Correct. Now, it's almost the same with the
Dolphins. Very true.
And that's almost the same with the Dolphins because they got the same thing with Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddles. Tua can't throw a crap. So if we're looking at it like this, if you're looking at a healthy Darren Waller, right? We're saying 85 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns because he never made more than 9 touchdowns in the season with the Raiders. However, this offense can be more prolific, more high powered. So I'm going on the higher end. If he's healthy and he can play majority of the season, I'm looking at 85 catches for 1,100 yards. Now, if you're looking at injured, then maybe.
How many touchdowns? How many touchdowns?
7. Because he's going to be a red zone threat with that team. Yeah. Because you look at Tyreek Hill and Waddle's not big enough to really maintain the
Mhm.
outside. So you could put Waller out there one-on-one with a corner or something, throw it up. But I do think with this team with Miami, they can be effective now that Tua's not necessarily Tua. That team is built to be fairly decent at this point offensively. And I think that Mike McDaniels, I mean, not that young guy, sorry, that young coach, I think he got some ideas with somebody like with Waller's athleticism too. He is a different type of tight end. He's not your standard type. He is very agile. And so I think he'll have a pretty productive season with the Dolphins.
All right, so I'm in here and I'm checking on the Dolphins now. Darren Waller is definitely listed as tight end 1, but they have 4 tight ends. The
Mhm.
tight end 2 is Julian Hill, and he had 12 catches for 100 yards and no touchdowns last year.
Mhm.
Pharaoh Brown is the number 3, and he had 8 catches for 65 yards, no touchdowns. So Darren Waller is definitely coming out of retirement to be a tight end 1.
Now here's the question too. What is
R.I.P. Carter.
You never started. But I was gonna look it up too. I was gonna do the same thing to look at how many catches did Smith have last year, because I was thinking the same thing too, and I didn't have enough time to check that out. But I was thinking the same thing. How many times did he actually throw it to Smith?
Yeah, let's see that.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because that could play a big factor. But I do think that with his athleticism, because with the Giants, it's like saying he's playing for the Raiders again. The way the Giants was last year. So I would have retired too. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I don't blame him.
Let's see.
Hey, but his this is the official demise, funeral, and burial of Darren Waller's rap career.
No. His not gonna get revived. Now
unfortunately,
he's gonna get signed under the balls.
All right, so
oh God,
yeah.
Jonnu Smith was targeted 111 times last year for 88 catches for 884 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Right. So if you look at it again, and Waller, if he can get to the year, he's gonna have pretty. Yeah.
Hawk, we might have lost that one, bro. We might have lost that.
Well, the reason for my stat line is because I'm like banking on him missing games.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been healthy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I say healthy. That's why I say if he's healthy. And that's why I put also if he's injured, he's only gonna get 52 catches. I put down 52 catches, maybe 658 yards, 3 touchdowns. If he's not,
man, how can you not be healthy being a rapper, man? You see Kendrick Lamar? All you do is sing and work out. Let's go. Come on, he'll be fine.
But that's what gets me about the Gatorade commercial. I didn't want to talk smack at that time. What does that got to do with, like you said, make me think about wanting Gatorade? Nothing. So I don't understand why we're watching this hood athleticism.
As long as they keep sending the videos, we're going to keep playing them because I like the money in the Gatorade. We're going to go to our next segment, brought to you by Spice It Up. This week's Top 5 is brought to you by Spice It Up. You can call Joe at 404-455-4751 for all your smoked and grilled meats needs. He is located in South Georgia and travels for all events. All right, today's Top 5 is what are the top 5 landing spots for Dame Dollar? This, the hard part about making these lists is trying not to make it personal because there's 3 point guards down in the East, including Dame. So where do you want to put him when he comes back is basically what you're trying to say. At number 5, I have him healing faster than Tatum. He's going to go play with Jaylen Brown for 1 year in Boston. Who do you got number 5, TKO?
I have a number 5, the Orlando Magic, because then he will be in the East. They're a very young team. That is very exciting. I do think with Desmond Bain trade was excellent, and he's not going to need a lot of money because now that Milwaukee's going to pay him over 5 years, he can take a low salary, but yet with a young team like that that's ready to take the next step, All they need is a strong leader, and I think he could be a great person to help that team out.
Mm-hmm. I'd have had Orlando a lot higher. I think Orlando's a great fit. Hawk.
I put him number 5. I put him with the Boston Celtics as well. There's a couple. There's a couple of teams there that are with a guy like him. Once he's healthy, he can be in a position where a team can take a chance on him, and they're not really getting bit that much if it doesn't work out. So I think Boston is kind of in that territory.
Yep.
And so I went with Boston at 5.
All right, brought to you by Spice It Up at number 4. I've got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you see a trend here in the East? I think you should pay attention to that because I think that's maybe where he's going. I don't know if this makes sense, and I don't know if it makes sense money-wise, but man, would I like to see Dame play with Anthony. That would be pretty cool to watch the two of them. Maybe get a little grown-up talk from Dame and calm him down a little bit to get his game better. I think that'd be a pretty good fit. Who you got at number 4, Hawk?
So I told myself when I was making this list that I was going to have one kind of unrealistic but potential thing. And I could see a world where he could reunite with Portland, with the Trailblazers. Just kind of random. Portland's not really going anywhere. The only way this could realistically happen is if Damian Lillard is in a place where he's like, I don't know how much time I have left. I don't know. I mean, because let's be honest, Damian Lillard isn't as effective as he used to be.
100%.
And so if he is feeling that way, I could see a place where he could go back to Portland and end up playing with them. But if he feels like he's got several years left, then that doesn't happen. But just depends where his mind is at and kind of how he views his career and things like that.
At number 4, who you got, Teddy?
Again, I'm looking at all these scenarios of win now, and I don't need a lot of money to do it. And where it be most effective, again, he may not be able to play this season coming up. If you're looking at the future of a team, the Houston Rockets. And Bleak had a great deal by getting re-signed with a 2-year, $50 million extension. However, if you put Dame on that team with that young cast, they are going to be exciting to watch. They're going to take off. Like that's, I don't see nobody stopping the team like that.
I think
they come off the bench too. By the way,
yeah, I was going to say that'd be with him coming off the bench for sure. And then, man, that'd be dangerous. That'd be dangerous. And that would have to be also that Dame's looking to play longer. Because if he did go there, it wouldn't be for no 1-year deal. He'd have to be there to build that younger team up. I like that one at 4. At number 3, I did what Hawk did at number 4. I did my fantasy pick. It's pretty much the only pick that I have that's not in the West. It's Denver. I know it can't happen. I already know that. But could you imagine Jamal Murray, Joker, and Dame? That trio could run a triangle pick and roll every play. And Joker would have a chance to go right or left. Man, that would be dangerous. TKO, who you got number 3?
I put Denver. Denver, I think, would be perfect for the.
It never happened.
Like you having 3 point guards, 3 court generals. The only thing you got to do is the other guys on the court play defense and get ready to shoot. That's all you got to do. And so
stay healthy.
It'd be an awesome team.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And stay healthy.
I think you keep saying it can't happen. You got to remember, he doesn't require a high salary. So anywhere he's going right now, he can lowball anything. It doesn't matter about the money.
That's true.
Milwaukee's paying him. So all of these deals are working out on, can I win now or do I want to build? That's the 2 different things I'm looking at with his career. He don't need the money no more.
So basically what you're saying is if Dame comes back and he goes, man, I only got 1 more year left in these legs. He's talking about let's just say after the surgery, he comes back and he's like, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to play this one last year. Denver's the place. I'm with you.
Yeah.
100%. Hawk, who do you got number 3?
Number 3 for me is the Minnesota Timberwolves for all the reasons you mentioned earlier. Just seeing him with Ant, I think that would add in just an extra piece and give them a chance to to kind of, if he goes back to his form, and there's no like major hiccups there, I think he could help take Minnesota to that next level. We've all been looking, and earlier I was talking about the league's looking for the next face of the league, and I think the league wants Ant to be the face of the league. I don't think
Trying.
Ant wants to be the face of the league.
Mhm.
But if you throw Damian Lillard in there, it's going to be hard not to have that conversation at that point.
But
100%.
I think the ball will stick if you had both of those on that team. Because if you think about Minnesota, who's the next scorer? And it's nothing to go against you guys. I think that's the problem with Minnesota. Even if you had him, you're putting a lot on the old Dame Leonard to get him through with Edwards compared to the moves they made did not do anything to make more offense or a secondary score. So I think, in my opinion, I love the idea of y'all saying somebody getting paired with Ant. I think the problem is Ant has to leave Minnesota in order to be where he needs to be, because I don't think Minnesota can draw the people free agency to come there. I think that's the biggest problem.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
no one wants to live in Minnesota. It's
Yeah,
like,
right. I don't think nobody
and
would go there.
that part of the Midwest, the Dakotas, Chicago, Minnesota, like the outside of basketball, the life outside is like you can't really go outside for most of the year.
You get in
Right.
trouble.
So I think that's the issue.
There's nothing to do. You get in trouble.
If he was the Hawks, why would not the Hawks send everything they got to go get Ant-Man to come back and play in Atlanta? He's from
I
Georgia.
still don't understand that.
That'd be the biggest trade. I mean, because wow, I will bet the farm for the Hawks to get him in order to rebuild around Ant in the city he would love to probably play in. But the problem is he'd be like John Moran. He may get more trouble if you bring him to Atlanta.
Ooh, let's think about that too. All right, at number 2, brought to you by Spice It Up. It's my team. You know what Lillard wanted to do in 2023. He was begging to get on that team. He's going to go to Miami at number 2. That's my last statement on that. Only because he was begging. Everybody saw it. He goes, "Oh, come on, let me get on this team." TKO, who do you got number 2?
I got the Boston Celtics because that right there would be a match made in heaven. If him and Tatum both come back the year after recovered, that's going to be a scary team.
100%. Hawk, who you got number 2?
Number 2, I went with the Denver Nuggets. Like I mentioned with Boston, it is low price tag, so low risk, high reward. If he hits, like you said, with like the pick and roll, it's just a benefit to Joker. And now you have Jamal Murray, you have Joker, and you have Damian Lillard. You got 3 scorers right there. If he's healthy by the time he's in the lineup and he's good to go, it's gonna be difficult for opposing teams, because like back when LeBron went to Miami, it was the super team. They had a big 3. Nowadays in today's NBA, it's more about the duos. It's like who's being matched with who. It's twos, and so what has happened is it has made other coaches, when they're creating their defensive game plan against a team that they're getting ready to play, it's made it easier for them to develop a game plan, because you're only planning for 2 guys now, when back in the day you were planning for 3. And so if you put him there with Joker and Jamal Murray, you're not planning for 3 again. And so I just think low risk, high reward.
I mean, the biggest thing about basketball, before we get to number 1 here, is if you have a duo, you can double team a duo with 5 people on the court and still have 1 guy guard the rim. If you got a trio, you can't double team 3 people with 5 people. It's absolutely impossible. It spreads the court out. That's why that super team in Miami was so great. And most of your teams had a 3. Even Jordan had a 3. Everybody says Jordan and Pippen. There was always somebody else. It was different every year, but somebody else was involved. Horace Grant, people forget his name. Anyways, brought to you by Spice It Up. We are at the number 1 spot, and for all the reasons that Hawk said at number 4, I think age is done. I think the surgery is going to let him come back to Portland. He's going to come back to Portland, play his years out here. His family's from there, and he's going to retire in Portland. I don't think Dame's going to be part of another dynasty or a championship. TKO.
I do believe someone like a Dame, if I were to go one year, I got the best chance I possibly can to go for this ring. The Los Angeles Clippers. I think the Clippers with
Oof.
James Harden, you already got Kawhi Leonard, you already got my man Zubac. You have a team that if you add Dame to that, they will be unstoppable. I take my money. I will put money on the NBA Finals. If he signs up with the Clippers, I don't think that nobody can stop him in the NBA.
A lot of age though. A lot of age.
Yeah, true. But I was
Just health wise, they'll stay healthy. It'd be a great team.
I think that's the only thing that stopped the Clippers. When I watched some of that playoff game last year, I'm like, if they had a point guard that James wouldn't have to control it so much, and they just pass the rock around, just control, and then he could take up. Man, I think that'd be an awesome thing. That would look strong.
Shout out to Monica Bradford. We see you in there in the chat box. We appreciate you tuning in. What's up, Hawk? What do you think? Number one, where's Dame going?
It's just the one that makes the most sense to me. I put the Miami Heat at 1. You know, they're in need. He's like, yeah, hell yeah, they're in need. Yeah, they're in need. And from everything I've seen online, Miami seems to be the front runners right now for him. Who knows what that actually means, if that's just rumors or if that's betting odds or whatever, you know, but it seems like a good match. Plus, who wouldn't want to live in Miami?
And retire in Miami. It's where everybody retires.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs to know. I think we all agree that Dame has less than 2 years. Can he play out a 3-year contract? Let's just go that route. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hawk?
If I was betting, I would say no. But I think that if it's like, remember Peyton Manning's last year with Denver when he had a noodle arm, and even Drew Brees with the Saints had a noodle arm.
Yeah.
If he played a third year, he would have the NBA's equivalent to a noodle arm, whatever that is. Like, I guess that would be no legs. Yeah, I could see him. I could see him playing pretty good for the next 2 years, but maybe that third year he wouldn't be his true self.
I'm gonna shout out to my best friend Brad Beck. He just sent me a picture, and you know I'm not about this, but I'm going to show you it anyways. He just sent me this picture. That is the stack of fireworks, and those things on the top, those are mortar hand grenades. We all know what those are. This is the stack of shit that he's bringing to where we're going to go shoot shit off. I can carry what I'm bringing in one hand. I have 3 12-packs of Roman candles because we like to play this game where we all get dressed up in camos and we play paintball with Roman candles. They don't really hurt that bad. We're spread out. Don't get on my shit. I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing.
Things non-white people don't do right there.
Teddy. Okay, we're gonna go this route. Teddy, if you were here and I said, Teddy, man, you got to come with me, man. We're gonna go out. You're not going.
I don't mess with fireworks. I hate stuff that goes boom. They're loud. I hate fireworks.
They really don't. No, wait. Roman candles don't go boom. They go thump.
I wouldn't know. I don't, because somebody last night, the dude that be on the podcast, No Jumper podcast, he blew his right hand off yesterday.
Yeah, those are the dumb rednecks.
I'm one of the ones I never in my life lit a firecracker. I don't care for it. If you throw one near me, I'm running. I'm sorry. I don't play around with stuff.
So now we know, Mike, if it ever comes down to a race war, all we got to do is get the fireworks out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, honestly.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Anyways, we're going to have a Roman candle battle today, and it's not going to be filmed, just so you were wondering.
Hey, DC, just do me a favor. Before you go, share your login information so we can still run BFAM after you lose a body part. You know what I mean?
By the way, I've never lost. I've gotten hit, but I've never lost. Just so you know, this is the 4th. What? I'm telling you, Teddy, when I say I've gotten hit, let me explain a Roman candle, okay?
Right, I don't get yeah.
There's these 8 balls inside of this stick that's probably about 12 inches long, okay?
Pause.
You could – nice. when you light it, you can actually hold it in your hand, and all that happens is this little ball of something flies out maybe 50 to 75 feet. It doesn't go bang, it just dies. Okay?
Right.
So like when it hits you, it's way less than a paintball hit. There's no that paintball hit hurts. You can feel that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like when I got hit with the Roman candles, I have no burn marks. I have no bruises. If you get hit in the skin, yeah, okay, that's fucking stupid. Duck. But like I'm covered. I'm in full camo, and I get into it. Hawk understands. I'm prior military. If I've got 8 sticks of Roman candles in 10 minutes to get where I want to go on this huge property, I'm hid. I got one. I got a lighter, and I got both of these out, and I'm going to light them both and shoot both your shits as soon as you come up on me.
So you're gonna put some heavy ass
Camo
on in
Yeah,
this hot ass weather. It's
No,
humid as shit.
that's a misunderstanding about camo. Mike, tell Hawk, camo does not do that. I can be in full pants, full long sleeves, and I'll be cool.
Yeah, I'll say this. In competitions like that, where I get a chance to like flashback to this, like some military days. I remember for my 30th birthday, I got taken to this local indoor paintball place. And I went one-on-one with someone, and I'm like, I'm going to smoke this person. Smoked him, didn't get touched. And then next thing I know, a group of like 5 or 6 people come in, and they just hop in the game after I had eliminated that person. So it's them against me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and, you know, checking my ammo, making sure I got my paintballs and all that good stuff. I was like, I'm about to drop every single one of these dudes Rambo style, because one, I understand tactical movements. They don't. They're just out there thinking they're just going to run out. Dude, it couldn't have been 45 seconds before I had all 6 of them just wiped. I didn't get touched. I understand the need to like get into like that mode again and be like, oh yeah, dude, we're winning this thing. That's how I view it too. I mean, if I was dumb enough to let someone shoot fireworks at me, I would probably win too.
All right. So when Hawk comes out here, Brad, I formally challenge you and Jeff to a battle against me and Hawk.
Oh yeah, they would get
that's
toasted.
That's it. And Teddy will keep score from the house in the window with binoculars. I'm not gonna not include you, Teddy. Somebody's
gonna give me night vision too. You know, get a little more tactful with it.
Oh no, you don't have to worry about that, because once you're out of that's the other thing people don't understand that military people do. If you've got 8 sticks, how many shots you got? 96. I know that immediately. 12 in each one.
I didn't know how many was in each one. So
well, there's just 12 in each one. I know that all the time, and when I fire them off, you can't stop them. That's the bad part. When you light it, all 8 are going. You can't like pinch it off with safety. You're shooting 8 shots at some pace, and sometimes they come out thump, 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 and sometimes there's a bigger pause in there, but they're all coming out eventually.
So the question I have is, and you know, I hope this doesn't happen. What if like mid-tube, if something happens? Had that ever happened before? Like mid-tube, one of them just didn't come out and it popped the tube itself?
I have this rule that I use. It's called a 5-second rule. So like when I light mine and the first one goes off, I'm counting 5 seconds between each one. If something don't come out in 5 seconds, I fucking hurl that shit around. I light another one.
Gotcha. Okay, that answers my question.
And has it gone off after hurling? Absolutely. Right back at me sometimes. Yeah, it sucks. Sometimes it's just got there in the grass and caught on fire, and I had to put the fire out, and I got shot. Because, you know, I'm not going to, if you start a fire, you got to put it out. You can't.
Yeah, but the good thing is, like you said, DC, there's no like explosion of those.
No.
So it's not like if it hits you or something, like, you know, it's a big explosion or anything like that.
No, there's no explosion. If it hits you in the face, it's fire and gunpowder. Yeah, it's gonna fucking burn you. But if it doesn't hit your skin, it doesn't burn the clothes. Like when it hits my camo, it bounces off.
I used to do a lot of white people stuff, like swimming in ponds and stuff like that, you know. But nowadays, I kind of tend to talk like white people stuff.
Oh, I get it.
Right, like wrestler, right? People be like, "Oh, there should be more black champions or black people." I'm like, no, wrestling's a white man's sport, all right? Like,
Teddy just gave me a topic for my show.
But you have to remember that wrestling started as like it started with like carnies, you know?
Yes, exactly.
I think it's the most successful carnival show ever, isn't it?
Yeah, it exactly is.
I mean, think about it.
Like Samaria and all that crap. That's what they want to tell you. The real hair, but like, dude, that's not the same thing. Two brothers playing around fighting each other at 5 years old. Yes, that's beginning of time. Nobody was paying tickets to see that. All right, but yes, that's probably the whitest thing I do is wrestle.
All right, here we go. We're going to go to McIntyre's Bakery. It's all about baseball. The MLB 10-game parlay is brought to you by McIntyre's Bakery, simply the best since 1947. Stopping at 1184 Concord Road in Smyrna, Georgia. Excuse me. And tell them DC sent you down there for some of the best Brunswick stew in the county. That's right. It ain't just a bakery no more. Of course, there's donuts, breads, and cakes are always made fresh daily. Call 770-434-3115 to place your order today. And I recently found out they do Uber Eats, so that doesn't suck. Except for when the guy eats one of your donuts and shit. Week 14 is in the books. What an absolutely horrible week for Get Money Sports. Let's just put that right there. D-Minus and the Hawk went 5-5, but the entire rest of the panel went 3-7. Now, somehow, some way, we are all still at 500 or above. Some of us are right at 500.
The sheriff
might not be here. Okay, I was going to say Sheriff, South Central Indiana. Yeah, he's at 65-65. King Kunta 72-68 with TKO. DC and the Hawk 74-66, and D-Minus has a 7-game lead at 81-59. I do have to let people know something before we go today. This is the advantage of being on the show. I'm a Braves fan. Today's start is Spencer Schwellenbach. He has a broken elbow. The Braves have announced they're running a bullpen game. If you have not been watching this show, the biggest thing that I've been bitching about is the Braves bullpen. We have lost more games after the 6th inning ever. Does that mean I'm telling you to bet on the Oreos? No. It just lets you know that if you're betting on the Braves, you are betting on the starting pitcher that's coming out of that fucking bullpen that sucks. This is me telling you that I know the Orioles aren't that good. I know the Braves aren't that good. Don't waste your money in this game. Unless you want to do something like how many innings will the bullpen pitcher pitch in the game for the Braves. Bet that. It's going to be two. Same as Ohtani. All right, that's your perk for the day from Get Money Sports. God, we can't even please people with saying people go first. I'm just going to let Teddy go first. Teddy, you are at 72-68. You're 9 games behind D-Minus.
All right, man, as you stated, and of course, man, we're all here at the Get Money Sports show stunned after last week. We're all stunned. However, let's just hope that we can all bounce back because there was some crazy numbers last week that people put up. Wow. All right, anyway, let's go with this week, all right? So I'm going with the Cardinals over the Cubs. The Cubs over the Cardinals. Sorry, Cubs over the Cardinals.
Good thing, because the Cardinals only scored 3 runs in the last 4 games.
See, I'm glad you told me that. I got the Blue Jays over the Angels. I see that they're streaking or they're having a good little run right now, so let's keep the good vibes on Blue Jays. We got the Red Sox over the Nationals. I don't know why. We got the Phillies over the Reds. I think the Phillies have made an adjustment in their bullpen or they starting pitching, so they realize that something's wrong and they try to fix it. Let's see if they can get back on track today. Then we got the Marlins. I got them over the Brewers. I have the Tigers over the Guardians. The Astros over the Dodgers, which I know I need to leave this game alone. I know I need to leave it alone because I got fooled by this last week. But I'm going to still go with the Astros because they was hitting good yesterday.
They scored 18 runs yesterday.
18 to 1. 18
Now,
to
remember
1.
last week's numbers. Go back last week. How many games last week everybody got blew out? They turned around and won the next day. You know?
Yep.
That's why I'm scared. But I'm going to still stay with 18 to 1. I don't know. I don't see it change today.
Ohtani's on the mound.
For 3 innings. If that. You got
Exactly.
You got the White Sox. I'm taking them over the Rockies.
Yeah, that's a must-pick game. We all have to pick that.
Yes, sir. I was going to pick it anyway. So we got the Padres over the Rangers. And this wasn't a pick 'em, but I seen the Pirates. See, this how ESPN y'all getting me. I seen they were streaking the other day, and the Mariners handled them with a crushing shot last night because you definitely mentioned that, Hawk. So I'm going to go yeah, I'm going with the Mariners over the Pirates. I'm taking that pick. So I'm going with them guys.
All right, so $ TKO B-Town, Cubs, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Phillies, Marlins, Tigers, Astros, White Sox, Padres, and Mariners. Just so you guys know out there in the listening land, we have to pick the game with the White Sox and the Colorado Rockies today because we have been saying layup every time anybody plays either one of those teams. So when you have two layups playing against each other, I made it mandatory. If it happened on a Saturday, we had to bet on it. Now, we have a little problem. We have to discuss this before Hawk goes. Let me check my phone. Damn it. Damn it. We almost had him. The rule was you had to have your team turned in by 11:30. Can y'all see the time there?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah.
Right on.
If that would have said 11, if that would have
He's
said
in.
11:31, would we have disqualified him?
Yep.
You damn Skippy.
And you would have listen, it happened to me one time this season already. You send the picks or you don't send them. And then so you get disqualified and then you get whatever the lowest participant gets that week. And for me, I had to go with I think the Sheriff went 2-8 that
2
week.
and 8. The lowest.
And I got a 2-8 for the week.
Basically, what he's saying right there is he's looking for any one of us to miss, so he has a partner. He just wants. You know what the bad part is? It's gonna happen, and watch the whole panel go 8 and 2, and you're gonna be like, "This is fucking bullshit."
Yeah.
All right, Hawk, you are in second. Oh, wait a minute. If you're in second place, yeah, I'm gonna go first. I'll let you go.
Yeah, because technically I've been in second place.
Yeah, you've been there. I just got there. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm coming. You know what they say. I'm coming up. Pause. Teddy's not getting my ass no more. All right. I got the Cubs over the Cardinals. As I said earlier, the Cardinals have scored 4 runs in 3 games. And for all you people that go out there with your money, go, oh, all of it on the Cardinals, they're due. Motherfucker, babies are due too, and they never come on time. That's all I'm saying, okay? Don't play that you're due shit. That's some bullshit. And if it hits, that doesn't mean you're right. It means you got lucky. So anyways, I'm taking the Cubs over the Cardinals at home. I'm taking the Blue Jays over the Angels because Max Scherzer's on the mound. I'm taking the Phillies over the Reds. Ranger Suarez, we're almost at the All-Star break, has a 2.00 ERA. That's a phenomenal ERA at the halfway point. I'm not touching the Braves and Oriole game. I told you about that earlier. I am taking the Brewers over the Marlins. I'm taking the Tigers over the Guardians. Casey Mize is on the mound. He has a 2.86 ERA. Taking the Dodgers over the Astros. Ohtani's on the mound for 2 innings. And they're like, big deal. Well, if you look at the Astros score the majority of their runs in the first 4 innings. I'm breaking this down, man. I'm 9 games out. I'm trying to catch up. I'm going deeper with my research. If Ohtani takes 2 innings out of it, there's only 7 more innings to play, and I feel like that advantage goes to the Dodgers. Plus, they got ass raped last night.
Yeah.
For the must-pick game, I will pick the White Sox over the Rockies. and I couldn't even find one reason looking at the game to tell you this is why it's going to happen.
They've just been more competitive from top to bottom than the Rockies have been.
All right, I'm going to go with what Mike just said because I know their number one player who everybody wanted last year, Roberts, he's batting .213 this year. Thank God nobody drafted him. Holy shit. Could you imagine that? Just because he had one good year, you draft him, he comes out, bats .213. Anyways, give me the White Sox over the Rockies. Give me the Padres over the Rangers. Give me the Giants over the A's. Logan Webb's on the mound tonight, 2.61 ERA. Anybody that has a 2 ERA, lower than a 3 right now, those are good pitchers. Make sure you qualifying games because we're at halfway point now. And then that game, the D- versus the Hawk, man, I got to go with those Mariners. Cal Raleigh, I don't know, man. That guy's a fucking beast. So for DC, it's Cubs, Blue Jays, Phillies, Brewers, Tigers, Dodgers, White Sox, Padres, Giants, and Mariners. $4D apparel. It's been a long time since y'all hit that, but I understand why. I'm not winning. It's coming eventually. I don't know when. I don't feel it yet, but I feel like I'm close. It's been a weird year, Huck.
Very weird year.
There we go. I just wanted some recertification on that. Hawk, what you got?
Okay, let me get. I'm gonna take the Twins over the Rays.
Hold on a second, Teddy. Did you see the way he rubbed his hands? Let me see what I got here, like a little picture something from Disney. All right, go ahead.
Also, I will say, I don't know why both of you guys so far jumped on that that Milwaukee Brewers, or sorry, the Marlins Brewers game. I don't like that one, personally. So
Why?
I left that one out. I don't know. It's just like I don't trust either one of those teams mostly.
I just think the Marlins have some games recently.
Yeah, Marlins have been playing baseball lately. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
They are. All right, so go ahead, start your list off.
Okay, so
$DMB11.
So Twins over the Rays. We got the Cubs over the Cardinals. The Blue Jays over the Angels. The Phillies over the Reds. I had originally selected the Braves, but you let me in on a little insider trading, and so crossed them off the list, not selecting them at all. I'm going to take the Yankees over the Mets because both the New York teams are playing like crap, but someone technically has to win. I'll take the Diamondbacks over the Royals, the Tigers over the Guardians, the Dodgers over the Astros. Give me the White Sox in the must-pick game. And then I'll take the Mariners over the Pirates. And my issue with the Mariners has been they're playing well, but if they're in a 3-game series and they lose one game on our show, I always pick the game that they lose. So I'm hoping to break that today. Hopefully they win today, and then we can be done with it. Because that's kind of irritating. But yeah, that's my 10.
All right, so Hawk has $DMB11, Twins, Cubs, Blue Jays, Phillies, Yankees, D-backs, Tigers, Dodgers, White Sox, and those Seattle Mariners. All right, so things just got better, Hawk. I know you don't care about them fireworks, but he just sent me these two and said, I cleaned them all, and we're going out to shoot today.
Yeah, let's do that. We can get in on that.
And I know he's got some Centex, so I know what we're going to be doing. We like to buy watermelons. There's this one stand at the top of the hill, and he sells watermelons for $3. We'll go get like 20 of them, and we'll put Semtex in the middle of it and try to hit the Semtex with a bullet to blow the water.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So we're going to have fun tonight for sure. There's a good chance that someone is going to come home smell like gunpowder, and I like that. I love the smell of gunpowder.
Hey, it's crazy how like my character, everybody thinks I'm just like this person that was a thug and all this other stuff. Like, bro, I never touched, manned, or shot a gun in my life. So yeah. Like for a lot of people get that misconception. Don't let the black fool you. And it's tone of my voice. I grew up
Teddy.
down the street from the hood. All right, don't say that. Every black person ain't ever shot a gun. All right.
I don't think we can say don't let the black fool you on Get Money Sports. I'm not sure we can do that. I don't. I'm not going to HR. He's black, man. You try to fuck me up.
Got a gun damn bro. Paintball, yeah, but real gun, hell no.
You know what, Mike Hawk? We got to get together and redneck Teddy. That's all there is to it. We got. He lives in North Carolina. He's never shot a gun. What the fuck?
I know some fishing and all that stuff, swimming in ponds and all that crap with snakes, all that crap. But nah, it's just like I never shot a gun. Never had a need for it.
I think that I've known a lot of people that have kind of thought that way, and I think that if you're around someone like myself who takes gun safety very seriously, and if you're around the right type of people, that shooting guns can be very fun, and you don't realize what you're missing until you get a chance to shoot. But but there are people out there who do things kind of like the stupid way and the unsafe way. And if people are unsafe with guns, I won't even show up. Like if I've at my church, we've gone to like the shooting range with like shotguns and stuff. And I've just like looked at everyone and been like, hey, if at any point anyone is unsafe, I'm going to correct you.
100%.
If I feel the need to correct you again, I'm leaving. Like, it's just something I don't play with.
Yeah.
It's too easy for someone to get hurt or killed, you know?
Yeah. 100%. All right, let's go to our next ad here, brought to you by Wild Bee Wellness.
Are you living with chronic neck, back, or shoulder pain? Do tension, headaches, and stress follow you everywhere? At Wild Bee Wellness, we specialize in results-driven massage therapy that's more than just relaxation. It's real relief. With certified neuromuscular therapy, we target the root of your pain. Most clients see up to 90% improvement within 3 to 5 sessions. Because massage isn't just a luxury, it's self-care and healthcare. Whether you're an athlete, a busy professional, or simply tired of managing your pain on your own, it's time to take your wellness seriously. Book your first session today and receive 10% off as a new client using code BFAM10. Visit www.wellbewellness.com or call us at 678-517-7178. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Wild Bee Wellness. Wild Bee Wellness, located near downtown Smyrna. Be not free. Find relief. Feel renewed.
The wrap-up is sponsored by Wild Bee Wellness. Be not free. Find relief and feel renewed by going down to 1264 Concord Road in Smyrna, Georgia, and going inside the door at Suite 203, walking up to the counter and saying, I want to be not free for 10% less. My code is BFAM10. Now, when she wrote that thing, that she didn't realize that they only book online. She got too busy. So basically what I want you to do, I don't want you to walk in. I want you to go to the website, www.wildbewellness.com. Book an appointment. Don't think you're getting down there today because you ain't. It's not that kind of place. She's like a month out. The wrap up. Looking at the 4 subjects, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to answer, Hawk? I'll let you go first. Which one do you want me to read to you? We got to cut time.
Yeah, let me have the WNBA one.
Okay, WNBA, the Seattle Storm, figures. The Seattle Storm announced that they will be unveiling a statue of former WNBA star Sue Bird on August 16th, which will make Bird the first WNBA player to be honored with a statue. Do you feel Bird should be the first one to be honored by a statue in the WNBA, Hawk?
Absolutely. Famous father, multiple championships within the city, held the city down on a basketball level when the Sonics were taken from Seattle, and was a great player. They had a lot of great players on those championship teams, and she largely stayed out of the media and all the drama of everything, and was just kind of like when you draft someone and re-sign someone and all that type of stuff. She's just a good basketball player, and I know in the Seattle area, there's a lot of little girls walking around with Sue Bird jerseys on.
100%,
There always
100%.
has been. So I think she's, whether or not someone is upset that she's the first one to be honored with the statue, she's definitely deserving of the statue.
100%, 100%.
I'm in support of it.
100%. I mean, Sue Bird, great basketball player, great role model. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you're going to have a statue of somebody out front, they couldn't have been like John Morant. You have no chance ever. Even if you
like Tyreek Hill, you're not getting a statue.
Yeah, you're not. If you fuck up, you're not getting a statue. TKO, which story you want to talk about?
I'll be really brief, and I'll talk about the Steelers situation with the trade. So you got the Miami Dolphins that have agreed to trade cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Johnny Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Micah Fitzpatrick, who won this trade. I say the Steelers won the trade, but I will say this. I think people have to realize, would this be able to take them to the AFC Championship and win the Super Bowl? I don't think so. I think Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slade are a little bit older. They are very good, savvy corners, but I do not think that's going to take their team over the top. And also, too, with a aging Aaron Rodgers, with a tough division they got to play against at least 6 games out of this year. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to even make it to the playoffs.
The AFC is too stacked in general.
Way too stacked. It's like in the basketball, it's like the West. Now, I would say this. With a team like this, if the Steelers can overcome and find a way to get in that playoffs, let's say 9-10 wins, that's very impressive. I would say that, but I do not. I think this may be Mike Tomlin's first losing season.
All right, I'm going to do the Clayton Kershaw one in baseball. Clayton Kershaw is the third pitcher to have 3,000 strikeouts for the same team. The other two were Walter Johnson, 3,508 Ks in 1923. Bob Gibson for the St. Louis Cardinals, 3,117 Ks, 1974. How many strikeouts do you think Kershaw will finish with as he is 37 years old and finishing his 17th season with the Dodgers? So I went deep. He has 448 starts at 37 years old. If he played till 40, because that's where Scherzer and DeGrom are about, he would have around 500 starts, which is another milestone to have 500 starts with the same team, which I know Kershaw is very, very self-centered with stats. He likes the stats. Full seasons, he averaged 135 Ks times 3. So I'm going to say he's going to have 3,405 Ks. He's going to retire when he's 40. All right. So I put a note here. When we come back, we are going to predict Jonnu Smith's stats in Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers. We got a couple more minutes, so we'll do this last one here. NBA free agent center DeAndre Ayton has signed a 2-year deal with the LA Lakers on Wednesday night. Will this have an advantage to Luka Doncic, as they were actually number 1 and number 3 in the 2018 NBA draft? Hawk.
No.
I don't think so either. I can't even give a reason.
I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with it. Like, it's cool. He's middle of the road player. I don't think he moves the needle that much.
TKO?
I say no, because they're so LeBron centric that if he is the problem that's going to stop that offense from possibly being something. I'm not saying Aiden is a world beater or something like that, but I do think that him and Jackson Hayes, they just re-signed him back, the young kid. I think they got a lot of young guys that really could do something, but LeBron won't move out the way. So I don't think it has more to do with Luka and Aiden. I think those two are going to be around for a while, but I think LeBron is the biggest problem that's not going to really go anywhere.
I think when they got Ayton, I think it actually showed a hint that he might be leaving the Lakers or retiring or getting ready to retire, because it doesn't make any sense. Like Hawk said, he's a mid-range player, but he still has talent. It doesn't make sense to bring a player there for 2 years if you're not going to use the talent that he has, because LeBron's going to block it. This is the trade that happened Wednesday was the thing that made me realize that maybe LeBron is going to call it quits. Even after he signed the option, I really feel like he might retire.
But you also got to look at like Aiden too. Aiden is more like a name, right? Because if you actually watch Aiden, Aiden ain't done a lot of too much anything in the NBA. His first year was pretty good. Second year was decent. But as the teams have, let's say, he plays to the level of how his team is. So if he's on a bad team, he's going to take that contract and he ain't going to give it all. But if you put him on a team like Lakers, I think he really can be a difference maker. If he really played it back to the basket and really grinded out, I think with the Lakers, he was going to put a lot of effort into it. But I really do believe it's the teams he's on. It's not so much as Aiden really is that good.
Great segment, guys. Great segment. All right, we're going to our last segment here. It's called I'm Just Saying. It's brought to you by One Condoms. Whatever you do, don't sign off early. We got a new outro coming. All right, Teddy, the redneck shit just went to another level. So I'm going to do I'm just saying, my best friend just told me I found a way to get rid of he's got 2 daughters, all of my daughters' stuffed animals instead of donating them. He's sewing 2 pounds of tannerite into the stuffed animals, and we're going to duct tape them to trees and shoot the animals instead of the watermelons this year.
Boom.
I'm with you. I mean, how cool is that going to be watching this little pink bear go fluff?
So who's going to pick up the cotton?
The animals. Maybe the birds are coming. I'm re-nesting. I'm doing the circle of life here, Teddy.
Here's another moment. You better not have no black out there picking that cotton up after that.
It's polyester, okay?
I was going another route, but Teddy is in it today, buddy. Birds use leaves and twigs to make their nests. I'm fixing their beds up with cotton now. And fluff. They're going to have blankets. Pull the cotton out of the animal, tear that up, put the blanket over the eggs. You ain't got to sit on that shit no more. Let the fucking
little memory foam.
Yeah, memory foam. Shit. I'm recycling. I hope I remember that when the cops come today. All right. So, this is called I'm Just Saying. It's a chance to get something off your chest and make you feel good, and no ridicule, talk-free zone. Hawk, I really don't want to let Teddy go today. Let's go ahead and get him. Teddy, what do you want to say today?
Oh, no, man. I would be nice and pleasant because one thing about this week, I would tell everybody, please protect your mental health. I know a lot of things going on in this world. Some things I not agree with government, but at the same time, you can only control what you can control, right? So when people ask me, I do a job where I do door-to-door sales, and I'll start off with this when I say this: you can, you're right. If you can't, you're right. And when you're saying that about a lot of things, it's not just when it comes to my job slogan, that's a way of life. Because you can believe something so much in your head, and that's what you believe, that's what you will put out there. And then vice versa, at other times, if you bring in positivity, then you will receive it and dish it out. So I would just tell people, please protect yourself at times of where you feel low and things are not really going your way. Take the time to kind of reset, get away from people. Yeah, have your little down moment, get it out, get your tears out, shake it off with you, because tomorrow you have another day to keep pressing forward and you can be able to change that. So I just like to tell people, if you're going through something, shake it off, man. Hey, you got another day to keep pressing forward, be blessed with that, because if you can, you're right. And if you can't, you're also right. And that's how I just leave with you guys.
I was not expecting that. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Hey, just so everybody knows, I do vape. I wanted to do this one thing before Hawk goes. Vaping in public is illegal now in Alabama. If you get caught vaping in Alabama, in the state of Alabama, you are going to be fined.
Even if it's tobacco?
Doesn't matter. If you have a vape and you are doing it outside, you are polluting, and it will be a ticket in Alabama. Hey,
Yeah.
the world's getting crazy. World's getting
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, y'all know. Be careful when you're traveling because I don't live in Alabama. Hawk, what are you just saying today? I ain't going to Alabama.
Today's is a shout out to the Seattle Mariners starting catcher Cal Raleigh.
No doubt.
This man has 35 home runs before the All-Star break. The only guys in MLB history with more in the first 88 games: Bonds, Ruth, McGuire, Fox, and Ruth again. Bonds has 39. He leads the way. Cal's at 35. By the way, Cal's career high in a single season is 34. So he's already broke his career high before the halfway point. He was the American League Player of the Month for the month of June. Led all the major statistical categories in the American League. American League Player of the Month. Was just named a couple days ago as the American League starting catcher. First American League first catcher in Seattle Mariners history to be a starter in the All-Star game. Our manager, Dan Wilson, was actually a All-Star participant, but was not a starter. Just a big shout out to him because he's clearly the best catcher in baseball. There's no denying it. Catchers typically don't have a bunch of offensive stats. The team's playing well, all that good stuff, but he's on a tear right now. We're witnessing history. And so it's just fun to watch. And he's extremely humble, so there's not much to hate about him if you're a fan of another team. Today's, I'm just saying, is just a big shout out to Cal Raleigh.
And I'm going to double that because I'm one of them fat white catchers that didn't have good stats. We appreciate Cal Raleigh showing that catchers can hit. Wasn't me, but man, can he hit them.
And his I don't know if you guys knew this, but his nickname is the Big Dumper.
Pause.
Did you know that?
No.
No. So Jared Kelnick, who you're familiar with, DC.
Absolutely.
When he was on the Mariners, he started calling Cal the Big Dumper because he's got a big ass, and then it started like this thing, and it became his nickname. And now there's they at the Mariners games, if you go when they do the T-shirt giveaways, it's a picture. And it's Cal Raleigh in a dump truck, like in the driver's seat, and it just says the Big Dumper above it. Just pretty funny nickname.
As my resident fan of TKO, that's some white people shit. Because you ain't, I dare somebody call me, and this is the thing I get here. So TKO, you don't know much about baseball, so I'll put it on you. If the Big Dumper is getting interviewed by a female ESPN, and she says, "So Big Dumper," is she flirting with him? Because she's talking about his ass.
Yes, and that's what I think is you too. Because my whole thought was he's tearing down that toilet. That's what I thought. But I'm glad you explained that because I thought he was in the bathroom every time. That's why I thought they were calling him Dumper.
When a catcher squats, any ass you have is hanging. Because I really don't have that big of an ass. Pause, but it's hanging. It's in the air. It's the only thing back there. So if you happen to have one of those large white boy butts, you're going to be nicknamed a dump truck, I guess.
When I played baseball back in the day, I was a catcher, but I was also not thinking about the fact that my ass at any point in the game.
No, somebody saw your dump, bro. Somebody saw you. There's some rumor going around that black people have big asses. So somebody saw your dumper. You could have been the big black.
Is that a rumor or is that a genetic fact over history?
Man, I haven't gotten my MD license yet, but I'm trying. I've petitioned a couple times. All right, I'm just saying this is going to really blow your mind. I don't know who Al Gore Rhythm is, but he lives in my house, and I can prove it. I was a catcher. See these teeth? Yeah, they're fucked up. They've all been broken. They're all real. They got a little bit of plaster here and here to make them kind of square, but I'm ready for dentures. I'm sitting there on the couch and talking to my girl, and I say, I'm ready for dentures. We need to go ahead and start thinking about looking at somebody, pull them up. I want them all out, put my teeth in. They hurt too much. They're fucking dead, whatever. About an hour later, I went out to the mailbox and I bowl. Bowling is really not a professional sport at my level, but I bowl. There's a letter in the mail from the senior PBA, Senior Professional Bowler Association. And I open it up. I figure they're giving me an invite. I've got the right average. I can go. And inside it says, the senior PBA has got a new program out. If you need full dentures, I'm just saying. That's some crazy.
They're listening.
No. And now I can't go on Facebook. I can't go on IG. All the side messages are about dentures. And I haven't even searched them. People, something's going on. I don't know what it is. But I do know one thing. Monster Energy is the shit.
Set the world in motion for this smashing graduation. Tonight